Right here, that's wood?
That's wood right there.
Oh, isn't it? See that? See, there's some wood right there.
After a decade of searching for long-lost treasure on Oak Island, the Lagina brothers have finally hit the jackpot. And not just in one spot, they have uncovered 3 different treasure locations and, yes, actual gold. But where exactly did they find it? And more importantly, how much is it really worth? Treasure found in the money pit. The first stop is the money pit. You see, for over 200 years, treasure hunters have been obsessed with Oak Island. It is just a small, tree-covered island off the coast of Nova Scotia. But why? Why has everyone been so obsessed with it? Because legend says that somewhere beneath its surface lies an incredible treasure. Gold, jewels, ancient artifacts, maybe even something more shocking. The money pit is the most famous dig site on the island, and it has swallowed up fortunes, destroyed equipment, and even claimed lives. But despite countless attempts, the treasure has remained just out of reach until now. After a decade of high-tech exploration, heavy drilling, and following every possible clue, the Lagina brothers and their team have finally found something big. Not just a theory or another frustrating dead end, they have found actual proof that treasure might be closer than ever before. And it all started with a borehole called DN 11.5. The team had been focusing their efforts on a specific part of the money pit, an area rich with historical accounts of buried treasure. Over the years, countless searchers have dug deep into this spot. They have uncovered everything from strange stone carvings to flood tunnels designed to keep intruders out. But despite all that, no one has been able to recover the rumored fortune that many believe still lies hidden below. Then the Lagina brothers focused on borehole D and 11.5, which is one of several carefully chosen drill sites, selected based on previous discoveries and high-tech surveys. The team had already encountered hints of man-made structures underground. They knew they were close. So as the drill bit punched through the ground, all eyes were on the results. At around 90 feet deep, something unusual happened. The drill broke through into open space. In other words, they found a void or an empty chamber underground. This was a huge deal because natural underground voids are extremely rare in this area. If there is open space down there, someone put it there, and that someone may have been hiding treasure. Now the question is, could this be a secret tunnel? To find out, the team immediately called in Terry Matheson, who is a geologist, to take a closer look. His first observation was that the void at D 11.5 lined up perfectly with 2 other boreholes, DN 12.5 and DN 13.5, where previous drilling had also uncovered evidence of tunnels. That meant one thing. This was not just some random hole. They had discovered a part of a larger underground structure. For decades, researchers have suspected that a hidden network of tunnels exists beneath the money pit. Many of the island's earliest searchers believed that whoever buried the treasure also built an elaborate tunnel system to hide and protect it. Now, with DN 11.5 hitting a void at the exact depth and location predicted, the theory seems stronger than ever. But they needed more than just a void. They needed proof, something physical to confirm what they were dealing with. To find out what was inside the newly discovered void, the team extracted core samples, or in this scenario, cylindrical chunks of earth and material pulled straight from the hole. As they examined the samples, they hit something solid. It was wood. Now, wood at 90 feet deep is no small find. This was not some random tree root. This was man-made, and given the age of the money pit mystery, it was almost certainly old. The team quickly sent the sample off to a lab for testing. They needed to confirm whether this wood came from a natural collapse, an old searcher tunnel, or something much older and more significant. But they were about to get an even bigger surprise. A few hours later, the team gathered at the Oak Island Interpretive Center for the lab results. The test used an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer, which is a high-tech device that can detect tiny traces of elements in solid objects. At first, the results were pretty standard. They found out that the wood contained common elements. It was all expected, nothing was shocking about this. But then they found out it had gold. Yes, actual traces of gold were found in the wood. This was a huge deal because wood does not just randomly contain gold. That meant one of 2 things. Either gold had been physically touching this wood at some point in the past, or water containing dissolved gold had soaked into the wood over time. Either way, gold was in this tunnel. Now, how much gold are we talking about here? Well, before you picture chestfuls of golden coins, it is important to clarify that these gold traces were small, just tiny amounts embedded in the wood. But the thing is, gold does not travel alone. If there is gold in the wood, there is a very real chance that more gold is nearby. It could be sitting just a few feet away, waiting to be uncovered. So what's next? Finding gold in the wood is not just a fluke, it confirms that something valuable is buried in this area. With evidence from boreholes DN 11.5, DN 12.5, and DN 13.5 all lining up, the team now has a clear direction for their next move. They will keep drilling, they will keep pulling up samples. And if they are right, if this tunnel system leads where they think it does, they could be on the brink of finding the legendary Oak Island treasure. The good thing is, this is not the only place they have found gold. So where else did they find the long-lost treasure? Treasure found in old shaft. Fans of the Curse of Oak Island know that the search for treasure on this island has always been focused on one legendary spot, the money pit. But as history has shown, things on Oak Island are never that simple. Over the years, searchers have found evidence of tunnels, vaults, and mysterious underground structures. So when the garden shaft started showing signs of being connected to something big, the Lagina brothers knew they had to take a closer look. This old crumbling structure was originally over 80 feet deep, abandoned and barely standing. But recent tests had detected high traces of gold in the surrounding water, meaning that something valuable could be nearby. If gold was in the water, was it coming from an undiscovered treasure vault? That's what the team was about to find out. The plan was to stabilize the garden shaft and drill into the walls at different angles. If a hidden chamber, tunnel, or void existed just beyond the shaft, this method would expose it. Dumas Contracting Limited was the company responsible for the excavation, and it was leading the charge. The goal was to drill 12 probe holes, 3 per wall, to search for any signs of man-made structures or valuable materials. That morning, as the crew set up, Brandon Vanderhoof from Dumas walked Rick and Marty through the process. The probe drilling was targeting a specific depth, one where past drilling had hit a 10-foot wide underground void just southwest of the shaft. That void had never been explored further, but if it was connected to something bigger, it could be a game-changing discovery. As the powerful hydraulic earth drill cut through the walls of the shaft, it moved effortlessly through soil and clay. But then it punched into open space. That's where they found another void, right where they expected it. This was not a natural cavity in the ground. It lined up too perfectly with previous drilling results. The logical explanation was a tunnel or chamber. The discovery immediately made the team wonder if this was a collapsed hiding place for treasure or a connection to the money pit. It also made them wonder if the gold-infused water was coming from inside this void. Now Rick was not ready to celebrate just yet. To confirm whether this was a man-made void, they needed samples. The drill pulled up chunks of material like soil, clay, and something else. It was wood. Now, finding wood at this depth is a huge deal. Unlike scattered debris, this was not random driftwood or fallen trees. This was buried timber, meaning a structure once existed down there. If there was gold in the water, there was a strong chance that gold had also seeped into the wood over time. And if that were true, they were officially on the right path. By the next morning, everyone gathered in the Oak Island lab for the test results. Leading the analysis was Emma Culligan, the team's archaeometallurgist. Her job was to scan the wood using an X-ray fluorescence spectrometer, which is a device that could detect even the tiniest traces of metals. Emma had come back after scanning, and she was ready to announce the results. She turned to the group and said this: "For a treasure hunt that had lasted centuries, this was a big celebratory moment. Now you must be wondering, why is gold in the wood a big deal? Well, gold is not like other metals. It does not just appear in random places. So if it was inside the wood, that meant gold objects were once stored in this chamber. And over time, tiny particles of gold rubbed off onto the wooden walls." Rick said that if the water contained gold, then the surrounding material should too. This result confirmed his suspicion. The garden shaft was sitting on top of something important. So how much gold did they find here? The gold detected in the wood measured at 0.11% concentration. That may sound small, but in scientific terms, It is significant. It matters because gold is one of the rarest elements in nature. Even tiny traces mean you are close to something bigger, and 0.11 means thousands of parts per billion, which is far beyond what you would expect in normal conditions. So in a way, this was direct evidence of gold being nearby. This is when they realized they are not just chasing legends anymore. The gold was real, and it was right under their feet. With concrete evidence in hand, the team now had a clear direction. The garden shaft was an active lead. They know that a 10-foot void exists nearby, which is potentially a treasure chamber. Plus, gold traces in the water suggested something valuable underground. Now, gold was confirmed in the wood, meaning gold objects had been in contact with this structure. This is exciting, no doubt, but we are not going to pretend it is the first time gold has ever been found on Oak Island. So what other treasures have the Lagina brothers found? The mysterious gold brooch. A few seasons ago, the team found a brooch on Lot 21. They believed the brooch was made of gold, but they were not sure. To confirm its composition, Marty, Alex, and Craig took it to St. Mary's University in Halifax, where experts could conduct a detailed analysis. Dr. Krista Brosseau, who is an expert in metal chemistry, along with her colleague Dr. Xiang Yang, used a scanning electron microscope to magnify the artifact thousands of times beyond its actual size. This advanced technology allowed them to examine the chemical composition of the metal at a microscopic level. As the analysis progressed, the results were clear that the brooch really contained gold. The gold was found in specific areas, suggesting that parts of the brooch were either gold-plated or had significant gold content. Alongside gold, traces of copper were also detected, indicating that the piece may have been crafted using mixed metals. This is a common technique in historical jewelry making. This revealed that the brooch was likely valuable when it was first made. Its presence on Oak Island raised new theories. If the brooch came from a wealthy European traveler or a noble family, it could have been lost, discarded, or hidden centuries ago. Another possibility was that it had been part of a larger treasure hoard, possibly belonging to pirates or a secretive group like the Freemasons or Knights Templar. Some even speculated it could have come from a shipwreck, washing ashore with other valuable cargo. What made this discovery even more important was that gold traces were also detected in the surrounding area. This suggested that gold was not just found on a single artifact, it could be buried nearby. So what do you think? Could this brooch be part of a much bigger treasure? Are the Lagina brothers close to uncovering the legendary riches long rumored to be hidden on Oak Island? Tell us your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more updates.